Welcome back, everyone, to WorldBox World Domination. As you can see, we have the map of Daggerfall with us today. But before we begin, let's explain to those who are, new to the series of WorldBox World Domination. The rule set and what we do here. Alright, so basically I put down the kingdoms on a map and allows the kingdoms to develop to the maximum size, of course, and for the culture to develop and flourish to the maximum level of their respective race. And with a single switch for diplomacy random events to be on. The kingdoms shall declare war against each other, and in the end there should be one single kingdom left. That would be the winner and, the world dominator. Alright, so that out of the way, let's start the game. I've already activated the, diplomacy. Now we shall wait until a kingdom declare war, and then the balance of power shall begin to change. So you can see here it's kind of a roughly quite inaccurate map of Daggerfall. Of course, the expansion of the kingdom is not under my control, mostly. And but of course, I did actually put down an elven kingdom here because this, I think it lacks kind of like an elven region, so I put down the elves over here, expecting the sentinel to be dominating over the desert and the elf to take over the forest or the jungle. But it kind of melt in with each other, kind of okay, I guess. But it created quite an exclave over here for the sentinel, and also Daggerfall somehow made their way into a few little colonies here. The orcs are pretty much kind of confined within this area. Meanwhile, the dwarves are the one taking hold of the islands. This map is pretty huge, but most of the fighting will probably goes on in the southern area of the map, where the whole continent here, is. Meanwhile, the northern, well, I wouldn't say though. The northern area does have more kingdoms, so who knows, right? The human kingdom can just conquer each other. However, the orcs, the elves, and the dwarf will have to fight against other kingdom. There's not going to be any annexation, as kingdom of the same race need to only conquer, while kingdoms from different race need to destroy the enemy kingdom. Let's put it on sonic speed here, so that we don't have to wait for too long before a kingdom, declare war. Usually that happens after a sort of chain of governments, like so. Tip over the balance of power a little bit, and that will, tip the domino to fall over. So we have a sort of a few kings are dying over here, and if the successor have a different idea about diplomacy, they might not be approving of the current order. The Orsinium has already declared war on the Wayrest. Now the orc generally are much more powerful than the respective, kingdom. So I expect Wayrest to not have too much fun here. It already looks like they are overrun with orcs, at least in the border region. And the dwarf have also declared war. For Wayrest, this is not a good sign. It means that they have to defend against two different kingdom of respectable power. And yeah, I think it's spelled doom for Wayrest unless they somehow sign a peace treaty, or, you know, some other kingdom declare war in an alliance with Wayrest. But yeah. Now, of course, the alliance update still has yet to arrive, but there is a hotfix update, or, you know, not hotfix, but, you know, a balance update. I don't know the specific, but it does actually kind of mess up my little mod thingy. As you can see here, this edit resources, while it still works, I never use it, but it works. The graphic gets a little funky. All right, well, Wayrest is gonna have to rest in peace. Oh, what I can see here is a squad of dwarves somehow is camping in Daggerfall's territory. Wayrest is gonna be the first to go for the humans, which is not good, of course, for Wayrest, but also not very good for Daggerfall. Had Daggerfall been able to like annex this region, they might have had a better chance to win in the late game. Now they have to like, if they want to like you know, take over this area, they need to rebuild. All right, so as Wayrest get removed from the world map, you know, kingdom will start to fill in to the void here. Let's see what else. What happens? Ah, Sentinel has declared war on Daggerfall. Alright, let's get back. So I assume that they will try to annex this to seaside town and, you know, conquer them in quick succession. Quick you know, whatever. The dwarf have also declared war on Sentinel, or maybe vice versa, who knows. It's war between the two kingdoms. Although I would say that Sentinel does not have too much of an advantage. Sentinel has made its way over here. Orsinium Orc has been declared war against by the dwarfs. Now the dwarf does actually have slight advantage over the population, but that does not make much of it doesn't really make it you know, too good for the dwarves. I mean, look at this. The orcs are still kind of domineering, and they are even trying to invade back as a revenge against, you know, the orc hostile stance. Dwarf. I said orc before. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yep, Sentinel has been able to kick out Daggerfall from the southern continent. Let's get back over here. We see Enril is taking some massive losses after the initial success over this region. After all, the orcs does actually have a lot more health and regeneration, of course. That's what makes them so powerful. So, you know, if the orcs can play a good diplomatic game, killing, you know, destroying one kingdom at a time and slowly growing in power, they will probably just win. Meanwhile, you can see that our good friends Sentinels have also colonized. They annexed this island of Woon here pretty quickly, right next to the coastline of Daggerfall, which is not good for Daggerfall if they actually do want to secure any sort of, like, you know, border here. Daggerfall has made it very clear that they are not, you know, Gotta sit down and do nothing as they send over some troops onto the Sentinel mainland territory, which I don't think is a good idea. I mean, the invading troops are just gonna get overwhelmed and achieving little, while you know, the mainland of Daggerfall is gonna have to suffer from the lack of defending troops. Now the dwarf, well, they are not in good shape here. I think they should be never mind. Even the island are destroyed. It seems that Sentinel up behind that there's a Sentinel ship carrying troops, which means the Sentinel are helping the orc in some way. Hopefully that does not backfire. Wait, wait a minute. That's a yellow. So is that Sentinel? Yes, they are. It's still Sentinel. I don't think the arrows of Eon are gonna have much to say about that. They only have one coastal town after all. Over here we can see that one town from the Sentinel has been destroyed, presumably by the dwarfs. So it's not all fun and game for Sentinels. They can't just like bulldoze over enemies without suffering some casualties. And here we can see that the town of Ipafao has been sort of overrun with Daggerfall troops here. It's currently still sitting at 5%, which means the annexation is not going to happen anytime soon. Perhaps after some sort of governor's figure has been deposed. The Sentinel capital is also not doing so good. Well, we shall see. This coastal town of Igovo has been taken back from, you know, by Daggerfall. And the dwarves are pretty much in gonna be destroyed. Yeah, they're not gonna get too much out of this situation. I don't think they can even rebuild. There's still 6 dwarven people left, but yeah, there's not much of a chance. Now for these guys, the Sentinels. Wait, that is an Arrow Eon colony. Serves as a great buffer zone, doesn't it? Daggerfall is starting to suffer from a little bit of getting overrun by Sentinels. And even the capital of Daggerfall is in somewhat danger here, sitting at 5% of annexation. Although the town of Ipafao has fallen to the Daggerfall. Not exactly a desirable outcome. Although this town is probably gonna get reclaimed back very soon, and it does. However, in the south, Yekov Bro has also been taken aback from. I mean, has been annexed by the Daggerfall kingdom, but yeah. Even though they does make some win occasionally here and there, Daggerfall is in a much worse position, getting shrunken down in size every few months. And the town down here doesn't really make too much of a difference in the Southern War. However, one thing has probably just changed the direction of the game here, which is the attack by the elves. The elves have started to raid and attack the Sentinel Kingdom. This should perhaps help Daggerfall as the Sentinel becomes more and more distracted by the development over here. Having sending back troops to defend, and of course losing a lot of resources and population in the process. And I expect that Daggerfall is starting to gain some ground, both in the south and in the northern continent. Taking some of the regions that has been destroyed by elves is gonna be pretty easy for Daggerfall. They can just, if they aren't hostile with elves, they can't rebuild. Yes, indeed. It's not looking good for Sentinel. Since most of the desert town has been destroyed except for maybe the capital. And yeah. Not looking good. Now the Orc have also joined in to fight against the Sentinel. It seems that they are playing safe here, going for the weakest kingdom. They are trying to claim this island for themselves. I see how it is. Here we can see the elven troops destroy that village very quickly. The kingdom of Sentinel is rapidly deteriorating. The capital is also getting sacked. That is quite a large blunder, I guess, for Sentinel. They didn't try to secure their border. In fact, they must have overextended against the Daggerfall kingdom. Not quite the desirable outcome. In fact, probably the most undesirable outcome, which is somehow getting the elf involved. And now the entirety of the southern continent is devoid of Sentinel. That is going to make some very interesting developments. Perhaps the elves could leverage their advantage and become the dominating kingdom over the south. Perhaps even striking the orcs as well. The kingdom of Sentinel has pretty much been booted out of the southern continent, and here we see that in the north there are several orcs also joining into the fight. Now it's gonna be very hard to see the age. It's gonna be impossible to see the age, as the mod over here has been a little acting a little bit sussy, a little bit weird. And yeah, sorry about that. Well, I didn't really plan this thing through. Hopefully, when the new update, the big update drops, I'm not gonna lose any maps, because I use mods for the this little buildings here and this little building here, and yeah, several other things like this thing. So hopefully it does not, you know, do that, and I'll lose my progress. Well, not progress, but, you know, the maps that I have already set up beforehand. Hopefully. Probably. Oh my god, look at that! An explosion occurs, which deposited all of these troops from arrows of eons onto the mainland continent. Well, no, on the northern continent, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happens, but probably because that ship which carries the troops from Arrow Zeon gets struck by some sort of, like, you know, archers by the Sentinels. And then we have a bunch of stranded guys here. Who are these guys fighting again? Daggerfall? Who are they fighting against? Oh, the orcs. I see how it is. So the orcs are playing the smart game here, of attacking the weakest kingdom on the map, aside from them, to you know, slowly bringing themselves to the top Now, of course, I'm not sure if they can rebuild themselves. I mean, can expand fast enough to rival the strength of the elves. But they might be able to. Daggerfall is not... They're not using their troops as some sort of defensive wall aside from the several people remaining over here. Most of the troops went Leroy Jenkins into the Orc mainland, destroy a few buildings. They didn't even get to destroy any buildings. They just got collapse. Daggerfall will probably fall as the Orc advance over to the last city over the northern area here. In the south, they are still doing quite well. Although this is more like, the descendant of the Sentinel. As, this, it carries, however it carries the Daggerfall name, basically. Oh, interesting development. Daggerfall troops are attacking the island of I don't know what caused the island, but there are 2 towns here and they are destroying them all. Quite clever, as the Orcs does not put many troops here to defend. This will give the Daggerfall a little bit more advantage. Daggerfall side a little bit of advantage, and presumably, oh, never mind. Somehow this guy got trapped into a shootout with the Orcs, who are standing across the freaking peninsula, across this little strait here, and just got wrecked half of the army. Not clever, not good. I don't know why they did that. It's like a really bad call. In the mainland, on the northern side, the defensive position has been set up. Alright, they're trying to destroy this. There we go. Good job. You guys managed to defend a little bit. On the island, we can see that it is still getting destroyed. There's still a few Daggerfall soldiers left. They are awaiting orders. Some of them are burning. Some of them die from burning. This guy is attacking the windmill, kind of like Don Quixote. Although that he might succeed. He might, bring in a little bit of a nice victory. What the heck is this? Oh, okay. The watchtower is kind of like shooting at wolves and not these guys. Maybe they're like out of range, Bro, water is right here. There you go. Oh, that's a rabbit. Okay. Well, ooh, the Orc are amassing troops here. They are trying to breach the defensive lines. Regrouping. Okay, a few of them are charging in quite foolishly. Okay, here we go. Here's a combat. Defensive troops are rising to meet the Orcs. Casualty can be seen on both sides, but the Orcs have come out on top, and they are not going straight for the kill. Oh, they are waiting. Okay. Well, the civilians are here, and they also got absolutely destroyed. Well, it doesn't look like the this little city here deserves any. I mean, gets any chance to survive here. Over in the southern continent, the Orc are also overrunning the city. And I think that spells the end. Kingdom Arrows of Eon has declared war on Daggerfall. That is, yeah. Well, the elf would rather have these area for themselves than giving it up to the orcs. So, you know, they just kind of like went in and destroyed what left of Daggerfall. Boy, even these cities are doing great. And even when these Daggerfall troops are amassing over here on this island, they still can't destroy it. I'm not sure why. You guys need to focus on one thing only and not just standing around doing nothing. Come on. Well, the mainland, you have one village left for Daggerfall. And of course this city, which is already in ruin. It only survives in name only because you know, the surviving soldiers are over here, kind of like. Okay, I don't know why, but okay, I thought they got. Well, I mean, they did try to board the. I can't even see who is boarding. But apparently, the troops from Daggerfall is boarding the enemy ship for no reason. Apparently, what are they even doing? Maybe they hijacked. Maybe they like became pirates and like hijacked the ship. And yeah, I guess they did. So they went over here on this peninsula, kind of meeting a defensive army from Air of Zeon, and of course Orc are also here for no reason at all. No reason for the Orc to be here, other than like, you know, to diss the humans. And yeah, northern side pretty much completely destroyed. Southern side pretty much also completely destroyed. Even this town is getting overrun with elves. Boy, Daggerfall, huh? Yeah, somehow the troops are kind of like, I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe they think they can rebuild this location or something. It's not gonna work. You kind of have to find the guy who lives here, and kill him, because if he doesn't die, you guys are just gonna sit here doing nothing. Come on. Maybe they. All right, they're just kind of here harassing the ship. It's kind of like, you know, an island of pirates. This guy are all like bandits now. I mean, the kingdom is pretty much gone. Well, never mind. There's still a ship left. Maybe they are going to be able to board this ship. Who knows? All right, board the ship. Gonna board the ship or not? No. All right, whatever. Look at this village, huh? Not sure. I'm not sure what's the plan here, but it seems to be you know, massing troops over in this single area and shoot anything that is Daggerfall. They really need to change how you know, the town system kind of works, because when the town is already like fully destroyed like this, you should not have like a person, you know, being alive on a totally different continent, keeping that town alive and still building, like somehow still building like unfinished buildings like this. It really does not make sense to me, at least. It sort of breaks the flow of the game, basically. Alright, yeah. Pretty much the same situation here. We probably just gotta have to wait until these guys die of, I guess, old age, or, you know, somehow. Oh, there we go. I see. Okay, so they're trying to build a village. Yeah, here I have a different problem with this, which is soldiers cannot build buildings, and therefore even if they try to build village, they're not going to be able to, you know, actually build it, which is bad. They get stuck. So, you know, do give the soldiers ability to either convert to a civilian to build buildings, or, you know, just give them the ability to build building anyway. Kind of override their job a little bit. Alright. Well, it seems that Daggerfall has been completely eradicated. It is now pretty much a fight between the Arrows of Eons and Orsinium. Let's fast forward here. Now, as you can see here, this town is formed by soldiers, which means without civilians, they're not going to be able to build. Okay, so they send in civilians from the mainland, so that works. And when you don't even have civilians anymore, it's just going to create a lot of problems. Does seem like the situation is going to be between Arrows of Eon in the south and the Orsinium Orc in the north. And they've declared war against each other. Not totally unexpected. After all, the entire game is built upon this idea of, you know, constant war. Alright, here we see the orcs having a lot of success in the beginning of the phase of the war, trying to destroy as much as they can and then retreat back before the elves arrive to support. Look at this. This territory here is separated by this little river mouth, and therefore it is completely undefended. Pretty much very easy for the orc to arrive and drive out the elves. Now the elf has returned that favor by overwhelmingly going onto this island, and I don't know who this is, but he is taking quite the damage. Absolutely destroyed that single freaking person. Alright. Invading troops of the elves have arrived on the mainland. Not exactly the best idea. Perhaps they could have regrouped over here first and then go over there before you know actually fighting, because this is just like asking to be slaughtered. Unless the elves can actually manage to turn this around with sheer body counts. Now here we can see that the orcs are also invading into the elven mainland. The defending troops have arrived. Ooh, lots of fire going on. I believe on the elven side they are taking a lot more casualty. Who knows, even with superior number, maybe the elf can be defeated with enough, you know, brute force. Alright, this island chain is kind of secured. Yep. And the elves are attacking from the western side. Pretty much less defended area are getting bodied. Back to the south, we can see that orc having some minor success over the region. They have yet to make it out of this little area, but it actually made some pretty good progress without much of resistance from the elves. Although I don't think the elves have spent enough. Wait, no, what is this happening? Where are all the elven troops? I don't see them anywhere on the mainland continent. They're just gonna get destroyed. Meanwhile, elven troops have to fight against, well, I guess it's a race. This is a race to see who can destroy the enemy kingdom faster, and I think the elf might lose this despite their larger size. The orc are more resilient after all. They have regeneration, they have more health. If the elf cannot overrun this area, they gotta lose a speed run. Alright, they are advancing eastward. Civilians are trying to fight back. Is that not enough? Not enough. More elves have started to show up, reinforcing the troops on the main line, on the main, battle front. Gonna have to destroy this watchtower here. It's gonna be very dangerous. Farm and watchtower are always main priority. In the south, we can see that the orcs have made it into the middle area of the desert. Defensive structure, trying their best to get to hold against the orcish invasion. Civilians have showed up to shoot arrows, and for militias, that's not enough. Orcs are more resilient. And pretty much ignore this city. I don't know what these guys are doing here. You need to support the troops on the front line. Come on. Alright, destroy that farm. Ooh, look at this arrow rain. Signature move of the Elven army. An archer squad. They're sort of raining arrows down upon the foes. Surprisingly, this area is sort of intact. The deepest area in the forest, the main capital of Arrow's eons. The desert are pretty much left to dry here. Although we can see some troops has showed up to defend the area. Perhaps they are able to spend some troops over in the mainland to defend. A colony of the orc have showed up on the southern area. Not sure if that can survive for long, but interesting development. The elf have also tried to set up a colony here on the island. Although we can see some orcish civilian. They might come in contact. You guys left a guy here, so he's gonna rebuild that entire town. Oh man, the elves seem to have run out of steam as they get further and further into the mainland of the orc. And if these guys aren't such lazy bums, they might have been able to make more advances. Oh man, look at this. Wait a second, you guys aren't even rebuilding the town, what the heck? And here we go, combat, there we go. Unsuspecting civilian encounters enemy troops. Well, it seems like the orc has successfully defended their kingdom. Of course, several guys are still over here, but they're not going to pose much of a threat. Meanwhile, in the southern continent, the elves are having a lot of difficulties trying to defend. And they are leaving a lot of area in the coastline here to the orc. I don't know about this. Leaving this area to the orcs might be a bad idea. They would try to set up shop in the mainland, in the southern mainland, and gain some advantage. Here we go. Elven troops are cleaning up the orcs in region, or at least try to. I don't know who this man is, Gap, but he is dishing out some justification for I don't know, whatever. He's basically doing a lot of damage against the elven cleanup squad. Dude is freaking massive as well. Wait, no, that's the other guy. Wow, 2 guys have basically demolished an entire elven squad. Not sure how that just happened, but this guy came out on top. Well, it has been a disaster for the elves. Is it? Perhaps they could have just, I don't know. They could have just focused on attacking instead of like going back home and defend. The race, they could have won that race, but now they have pretty much flipped the table and fucked up any sort of plans they have. Oh man, look at this, huh? The orcish towns are rebuilding back up again. Not a good sign for those who are, you know, not on the orc side. I mean, not on, yeah. Us is not quite the other guy, so he is getting destroyed. Alright, elven army sort of building back up the size that they used to have. So it's gonna have, although they are not gonna be able to, you know, produce quite as much equipment as beginning. Lots of equipment has been lost in the battle. I believe the way that these guys get so much health is through their equipment as well. So, you know, having equipment is much better than not. A single well-equipped soldier can tank the entire enemy naked squad, basically. Like this dude, Topaz. And he died. Seems that the elves are trying their best here to clean up the southern area of orcs, and they managed to do so. But things are still not looking good. The orcs are pretty much still at the you know, the side as they were at the beginning of the battle. And now we see that... What are you doing? Why are you parking the ship here? Oh cool, you slot an entire warship for no reason. Okay, who is this? Ahane. I don't think this guy is gonna be able to take on these dudes. Yep, dead immediately. Oh, taking advantage of the distraction caused by this island, the elves are trying to launch another offensive, which is getting some really bad result, letting the civilian, who is a little bit more equipped, to fight back and actually like take on the entirety of the squad. Bad situation here for the elves. And they just got ganged on, and the two kingdoms made peace with each other. A temporary truce so that both could regain the strength. Let's speed up the process. The rebuilding phase is gonna be crucial. Let's see who will retain their advantage here, or and like who will, you know, basically who will be faster at like rebuilding, right? The elves does still have a lot of troops, but the location pretty much limit the supply of troops via ship. So unless they try to make a little kingdom here, I think the elves are not gonna be able to take on the orcs. Oh, they're setting on the island. Still not a good choice. I think the island really doesn't serve as that much of a strategic location. It's basically just a place to distract the enemies. But it's free land, so just grab it, I guess. Oh, the fight have once again raged on. As predicted, that island serving as a sort of weird distraction. For both sides, actually. So, yeah. Alright, this is kind of pointless. Claiming this island really doesn't do much good for the elves. And now they are sitting duck for enemy troops who are shooting from the other side. Not sure why they choose to do that specifically, but okay. Border have yet to change. Yes, he immediately put a landing troops onto the most heavily defended coastline. Trick. Oh, the trick is a book. Never works. At least in this game. Okay, finally the elves are taking some lesson here. They are trying to methodologically supply troops over from this area, which is sort of in their control. And they're working their way up from the south. Attacking defensive position. Alright, Furioso. Why would a freaking soldier have better range on an arrow than a watchtower? Gonna have to keep that watchtower a little bit of a buff, or else it's gonna stay irrelevant. Oh man, that Elven squad got absolutely blown out. Meanwhile, in the western area, the elves are making some... they are trying to take on several villages and are trying to cut off this side of the kingdom of Orsinium from the eastern side. Alright. See that they are working their way from the west, which is still getting rebuilt, which means it is going to be less defended and there's going to be less stuff to actually destroy. Okay. Good, good. Advancing eastward. What are the responses from the orcs? Don't see any. Perhaps some civilian findings. Ah! They are attacking multiple areas at once to keep these orcish soldiers from, you know, focusing on one area only and overwhelm the elven army. Interesting strategy. Let's see if it works. Alright, so troops are getting drawn over to this region. Meanwhile, in the western area, pretty much the whole town has been destroyed. Save for a few single soldiers sitting around here. Alright, I'm not sure what these guys are doing. Trying to, I guess they are awaiting order, but I think the better thing to do here is to continue eastward, but maybe they have detected a lot of troops pouring back over here, which means this attempt over in the eastern side of the coastline has been quelled and failed to achieve any sort of real casualty, you know, stuff. Alright, attacking the ship. Good, good. Still doing somewhat good. Oh no, this squad over here is getting a little hasty. They are... Oh no, and here comes the orcs. 10 pet? Alright, who names the town 10 pet? Then again, it's an orcish language. You know, we don't know what that means. But it just sounds like, you know, someone has 10 pets and like, you know, name it that without plural. Alright, getting that supplies, please. Getting that resupply. No? Here we go. Elven ship coming to the port and nothing. Wow, okay, you guys didn't even try to resupply the troops. What is happening here? Seems like the orc are wreaking havoc in the desert. Which honestly, I mean, it's a desert, there's not much here. Somehow, after years of fighting, the population didn't really, the population on both sides didn't really take any hit. Let's zoom out and get a full look of the region as you know, time goes by. And let's see who comes out on top. You can see that most of the fighting is now happening on the elven side of the map. And the elves are the one taking more casualties. The elves have once again led another seaborne invasion into this area, which has so far not done much of anything. Alright, the eastern side is currently under attack. Are you going to attack this town or not? You guys have to make up your mind. Lots of orcish troops are getting tied up here on this island. But yeah. Doesn't seem like so the elves have been able to do much here. They even lost some villages in the forested area. Wow, no accomplishment at all. You guys even let the orc kind of rebuild their western area almost back up. Let's hope this is not a forever war. And somehow someone will come out on top eventually. Because so far it's pretty much a balance. Nobody's getting any sort of advantage. Also, from what I can see here, the orcs does have an advantage. That will have an advantage eventually when their population surpasses the elves. Right now, the orc population is rising. The elven population is decreasing. Alright, back to the game now. I can see that nothing has changed. Elves are still trying to make this invasion happen, which is not gonna happen. However, for the orcs, they are getting a lot more success in the region of... in the desert region here. We can see a whole orc squad camping around the area. You know, the village has been destroyed for the elves. Both kingdoms have made peace, so let's Sonic speed it up and let them rebuild. At this point, it seems that the orcs have completely dominated the northern region, and they will probably try to make their way down south and take over the desert. An interesting thing, I mean, a not very interesting thing about the orc is that once they have a sort of kind of balanced position against an enemy, they will come out on top, as the innate trait of the orc will help them in the fight. And what I can see here, the orc have pretty much built themselves to the strongest version that, you know, that can be for them. The only thing left here is to conquer the elves. And I think letting them kind of like handling the, letting the elf kind of like drop by some troops, destroy those troops, and then start to invade back into the desert area, take over the desert area would probably be the play. I don't know if the orc are gonna be able to follow that play, but you know, maybe with enough brute force they will manage to destroy the elves anyway. Alright, we have seen pretty much the strategy that both sides have taken, so let's spend the rest of the time here just kind of looks at the kind of border changes. Oh, what do I see here? The elves have made some significant victory in this area. in the southern area of this location of the Orcus Kingdom of Orsinium. And never mind, that entire squad has been snuffed out. Alright, first victory by the elves, first major victory by the elves, followed by absolute destruction for that squad. Now that the elves have basically spent the entire army on a successful campaign to, you know, curb the orcs, they're gonna have to face several pretty heavy invasion into the desert areas. While the orc can just build back this place completely from the scratch. I feel like the elven strategy of attacking two sides at once is not working out so well. I mean, the orc totally has enough resource and troops to defend two areas, both in the west and in the east. But let them cook, you know. They might know something that I don't. Fighting happening on both sides, but it seems that the orcs are the one making more of an advantage, taking the advantage of in the southern area of the desert here, in the northern area of the desert here, trying their best to take over this coastal town. Oh, that colony got destroyed. Too bad for the orcs. Their plan will probably have to wait until they, you know, drain out more resources from the elves. One more invasion for good measure? No, not really. They made peace. So far it seems that the orcs is the only one doing the expanding of the territories. The elves have yet to do anything of the sort. Fight has raged on for quite some time. I think we might have to stay here for quite a long time, since it is a pretty balanced fight, believe it or not. Probably because of the sea base invasion strategy is not working out so well. The elf finally made some move here on the islands. Interesting. Wow, a lot of time have passed, huh? That means the elves are able to capitalize on their, population boost and rebuild much of the lost troops. All right, taking the island yet again. Not good strategy. Speaking of the elves, not the orcs. The orc can do whatever they want on the island. I don't care. I think those islands in the middle here are pretty much not nothing. This is just like, free space. The only advantage I think they can give is that this little peninsula here that jut out might get attacked if there are troops sitting on this tip of the island. All right, I mean, it's still, oh my god, look at that, like a firework almost. Those elven troops got scattered. See a mass of elven troops down the southern area. Now this happened in the past, but doesn't really lead to any victory. After the elf got into Orsinium, they just get booed out. Yep, exactly what I thought would happen. This little village here, I mean, this capital city here is super resilient. It's not falling at all, despite the Elven pouring a lot of troops. Look at this whole line of guys, of dudes from the elves. I mean, from the orcs. Oof, those ships never stand a chance. Meanwhile, the elves are still struggling to even taking the westernmost side of the orc kingdom. No side have been able to make a dent on each other. And they just keep, like, fighting on and on and on. Not sure if we even have a kingdom that will come on top this episode. I'm just gonna, like, leave the game running a little bit here as I do other stuff. I'm gonna go and do this other stuff, and coming back once we see some nice development on the map. Now we can see that the orc are still trying to fight in the desert area, but yeah, that happened last time as well, and nothing really came out of it. So yeah. oh my, what a development I've seen over here. Hang on. Oops, sorry about that. Almost forgot to turn off the audio for my phone. That's just as related to what I'm playing. Anyway, I came back here and I see that the orc is already trying to take over the coastline of the southern continent. It is gotta be a freaking absurd fight here because I thought the orc is gonna lose. You know, if I look over... wow, look at this amount of ruined ports, huh? Anyway, as I said before, once the orc got a hold of an advantage, they're gonna get like, you know, absolutely overpowered and start to overrun basically anyone who challenges them. So yeah, look at this. Even the capital is now in danger. I'm not sure what brought to this, but I think it's a fitting end for the episode. The Arrows of Eon, who has basically power played the entire southern continent, get overrun by orcs who are opportunistic and did actually do pretty well to defend themselves. The elf had many chances they can win, and they squandered every single one of them. So yeah, I think it's a deserving victory for the orcs. They were the little guys this time, you know, and seeing them win is definitely justified, despite the normal reputation of orcish troops being a little bit overpowered. One thing that is very funny, that I don't know if you guys have noticed, is this little corner over here. The king of the orc has been sitting around here for I don't know how long, because this guy has, look at him. I can't even check his age. Oh, there we go, 1,000 years. Yes, this guy has been sitting around in this area for 1,000 years. So he's pretty much like the evil guy in a, you know, evil overlord in a cave, pretty much. Huh, did they stop fighting? Alright, well, I still have a few 10 minutes left. I can, you know, stay here. So hopefully the orcs are gonna be able to, you know, finish off the little elf kingdom in that amount of time, because I have to go and do stuff, you know. Alright, they declared war. This time it's gonna be quick, like a flash. right. Where are we? Seems that elves are slowly getting smaller by orcish troops. I think as more orc troops showed up on the southern continent, the hope for the elves, well, no hope. They really just don't have any chance to win anymore. As soon as the orc gain an advantage, they gotta take it. All the way, man. Alright, let's see. "13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15, 14, 13. Still, I don't know where the 13 elven people are, and they are gone. We await for the destruction of their kingdom. It would be quite... Alright, Kingdom Arrows of Eon has been destroyed for good. It is over after... how much time has passed? 1 hour and 37 minutes, and of course several, 2,000 years in game time. Not exactly, because the game starts at like whatever year, but you know the idea. The orc for Orsinium has taken home the victory and becomes a world dominator on the map Daggerfall. Alright, this is a little bit of a lengthy episode. I hope you guys enjoyed though. If you do, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more WorldBox World Domination. And it's gonna get even more wild once we have the update dropped, but I'm still waiting for that update. Yeah, that's gonna be the end. I hope I did that already. And I'm gonna end it here. See you in the next video.